Hello everyone, this is Jaya. For the session of digitalization, we will learn in the session about its importance, about its impact, and with the interesting case study which deals with the digitalization. So today, my first slide comprises of the scenario where there are two friends in the name of Bob and David who are in the business of tours and travel. But in this scenario, Bob is earning less and David is earning more. Why it is happening? Because Bob is using his traditional way of methods and whereas David is using a digital method to run his business. So in this scenario, David is getting all the complaint, request, queries of the customer to be resolved instantly, whereas Bob is struggling to complete all the requests of the consumers, where he is taking more and more time to complete those request, query, and complaint of the consumer. That is why the business is slow and he is not earning more than David. And David is doing so instantly, completing all the requests, trying to resolve the query of the consumer, that he is getting more and more business, and his business is flourishing like any. So they are into the same business, but there is a difference of the method which is happening in this scenario. So the difference is there are two methods: one is traditional and second is digital method. So now in the second slide, we will understand what is the actual difference between the traditional versus digital method, where these two friends are having the same business but having a different method. But in the methods, Bob is earning less, whereas David is using the digital method and he is earning more and more. So in a traditional method, the manpower is much more is involved, more time consumption is there. There is a very high costing, the processing is very slow, and the chances of errors are very high. But when we see in a digital method, there is a less manpower is involved, less time consumption is there, the costing is very low, the processing is really faster, and it has more and more accuracy and efficiency rather than in traditional method. So that is why the scenario which we discussed, the David is earning because of these points, because these are the benefit of the digital method which are not applicable in traditional way. Now, my second slide comprises of the definition of digitalization. So when we are trying to define the digitalization, it is into, we can define into, like there are four pillars for digitalization. So there are the four pillars which are technology, then data, third is process, and the fourth is organizational change. When we are trying to define a digitalization, so we will take the first uh, pillar, that is the technology. So in every business, there is always a technology which creates new or modify the existing technology so that it becomes a transparent for both consumer and for the business owners. Second pillar comprises of the data. When there is a technology in the business, so the data is always there, and these data can be compiled. They can be do a market analysis, how his product is doing in the current market situation. So we have the data part also important when we have the technology. So these goes hand in hand. Third is the process. When these two things are there, so the process is we make the process automated so that it simplifies the complexity of the business or the processes so that it becomes easier for the consumer to when they are visiting the website or an app, as well as it is also makes easy for the business owners. Third point, last point comes into the organizational change. So when these three pillars are there, so why you think the organizational change is required? Why? Because when the customer asks for some improvisation in your product, or he wants some extra things to be added in that product. So to improvise that product, you need to have the better people for the improvisation and how to make it in a less time and give a good quality product to the person with the increased amount of the ingredient which the consumer wants. For that, you require to do a organizational change in your business, and that is what really important, because for us, if we are doing a business on an online platform, the consumers are really important, and whatever they feel or whatever the improvisation they require, we need to do that so that we can make a good customer base in an online platform. So these goes hand in hand: technology, data, process, and organizational change, because these things drive the digital method to the part of an accuracy. Now, my second slide comprises of what is actually the importance of digitalization. When we are talking about the importance, there are certain things comes into our mind that when the digital method is in the online platform for our business, so somewhere we see that are many of the documents are saved on an online platform. So if there's something happens, like there's some natural disaster, if it is stolen, or if it's some any loss has happened at that point of time, so the main advantage of digital tool that we can retrieve those data, we can fix the errors on an online platform, and we can keep our records secured and safe. But do you think these things are available in traditional method? No, because if the documents are lost or something has happened to the documents in a traditional way, we have to do it from the scratch. We can't retrieve those data, we can't fix any errors over there. But this is the advantage in digital tool, that we can fix the errors, we can keep our documents safe and secure, and if anything happens, we can keep it very safe. We can retrieve, we can fix, and these are the advantages when you are running your business on an online platform. Now, what is importance? I have a second point when we are running a business on an online platform. Uh, the most important point is the retention of the customers. Why? Because when we retain our potential customers, so uh, what do we need when we are running that online? So, whenever the customer comes for a query or any complaint or any request, if we listen to the consumer very proactively, we try to help them, we show them that we are listening to their issues, their problems. So, the customer would be happy. If I would be in that particular place, I would be also happy if the person is listening to my query or the request. So if they try to solve the issue of the consumer will come back for the repeat purchases. Secondly, it will increase the profit in your business. And third, it will increase your customer base. From the customer who you have retained, they will recommend your channel to everyone to whom it is in the contact with him or her. And so that is why customer retention is really important for every sort of business. I'm not talking about only in a finance or only entertainment, only education. Everywhere, in every sort of industry, the customers are really important, and we have to retain those to run our business smooth and to have our business growth more and more. And that is why the customers are really important. My second slide comprises of examples. We can give a number of examples when we are into this digital tool. So we can submit the forms online whenever we require for education or for a loan. We try why to stand in a queue and have a form in our hand with, and some way it is lost also if we don't take care, we standing carelessly in a queue or somewhere. But we have this opportunity, or we have this advantage, that nowadays everything is online and we can just fill it in the online and submit the documents. For if you're applying for a loan, or you're applying for some education, higher education, or you are applying for a visa, or you are booking a ticket, these things makes it easier, a simpler process for the consumer, that they don't have to go anywhere, they don't have to travel anywhere. And that's the reason it saves your cost part, and plus it have more and more accuracy in the process where you are looking out submission of the forms, or you're booking a ticket, or you're booking of the hotel, or anything you're booking, or doing even searching or purchasing a product, which becomes easier for the consumer, that he or she can see it on the website, as well as they can compare those other the product which they are buying from the other websites, so that they can get a great deal that from which website they should buy. So there are numerous of examples when we are talking of digital tool in the business module, and in a domestic life it also helps out a very well for. Now, my slide comprises of the advantage, which I described you the definition, the importance, and with the examples. But when we come to the advantages, even we have described the difference between both the method, but the advantage is the main thing, where it is a time saving. You all know, when you are searching for a product or you are searching for something, you don't have to go anywhere. You can just, if you're sitting in a home or an office, you can just serve it on a online platform, and you get a number of things, number of varieties, number of things where you can compare and you can purchase the product. So this saves your time. You don't have to go here and there. Cost saving, because the traveling part is not there when you're doing it online platform. The cost is saved in your part. There is more and more accuracy when you're doing or purchasing on an online platform. Easy distribution whenever the business is running on an online platform. It is very easy to give the information about your launching a new product, or about your brand, or your other products which have been launched. You can provide that information in a social media, where you can attract more and more people on the social media, and where you can't do it in a traditional way of method, because it is not very easy to do it. So the easy distribution, you can do it in online, and if you want to say something to your employees, you can do it on a mail. That becomes an easy. Then the documents are secured when it is kept in an online platform. It is on the cloud and it is saved, and you can retrieve if it is lost or something has happened. And increase in profit, which I'll talk about, is the retention of the customer, because we require customer for our business to run the business smooth. Secondly, it should have the profit, and it should have a bigger customer base, so that you can enter to any competition with other competitor of your online business part. So that is why digital tool have its own benefits, have own advantages. But when we compare to these traditional, these things are not available, and it makes it difficult who the people are doing a traditional way of method for their business. Because in a traditional way of method, the people are sitting in their shops and they don't know the customer would come or not. That is a thing which you can't suggest, or which you can't predict also. But in digital tool, because in nowadays every person is looking out in an online platform, whether searching for an school, or searching for a product, or searching for a hotels for a booking, or a flight tickets, or anything. So that makes it easier. That makes it more and more easier for the consumer, as of the business owners, which makes it that to grow his business smooth and to gain more and more profit. So my last slide comprises of case study. So when we are talking about a case study, I told you in my promotion part that digitalization is a one part, but we have a case study dealing with the QR code, which are used in a digital method nowadays, and which has become more and more important for every business, because it have the easier way to connect with the people, to engage the consumers for our business. And for every business, this QR code is required. You can go anywhere and use this QR code, and scanning part is so easy that everybody is having a smartphone or an Android phone, and they just scan it and get all the details about the product or whatever they are looking out. So QR code makes the life easier for both the consumers as well as for the business part. So today's my case study, if I'm going to talk about, is about the insurance and financial institutions. So today is my case study. All everybody know nowadays financial and insurance are badly affected and through this pandemic. But what is the main criteria why the financial and insurance sector should use a QR code is why they are using it, what is the difference, and what is the advantages. So today the case study is about for these both companies. So insurance and finance companies are no exception and have their unique opportunity to reach more and more customers, streamline their processes and transactions, and how they increase more and more consumer engagement. And while all these factors are coming, so they can increase their revenue details as well. So this, how they can do these things. So this is the main question which comes in your mind, and it can be easier, it can be simplified by making a new QR code experience by inspiring the customer to engage with this and whenever they have free moment. So whenever they are into a free moment, they can scan it through it and they can get all the details of the product, of the services, of the processes, each and everything. So that is why we require the financial, whoever is in this particular business, they can use this QR code to get these things more and more to grow their business more and more. QR code in this situation, QR code are the best tool that insurance and finance organization can use to make a difference with the other competitors. No longer, it's just a QR code has become an innovative, even necessary tool for, if I say it as a necessary tool for the consumer convenience, and that helps the finance and insurance company to streamline the operation via mobile apps by optimizing access to wide range of the tasks which they ultimately increase by the efficiency while scanning the QR code through their smartphone. They can go to the different pages where they can understand what are the process, what are the operations, what the task they can do on a smartphone while using their apps, whether it is in insurance or whether it is in a financial sector. So that is why through these nowadays in a mobile app you can do everything, whether it is in a bank, whether it is in an insurance sector, you can have each and every information on your mobile phone. You don't have to carry your laptop or something. It is just a QR code which makes it life the easier for both the parties, that is the consumer as well as for the banking. So now I would suggest that what my points are, I have a couple of things which comes into your mind that how the insurance or the finance sector can use the QR code. Now, the first point which comes into my mind, that is QR code on insurance card. So you will try to understand what is the insurance card. So, the QR code can be used to assist the customer in claims. So, in an insurance sector, the most important part is the claims for the customer. So, whenever the policy is matured or something, so everybody want that claim should come to them. So, for that details of the claim and each procedure for getting that claims and everything. So QR code can be used to assist the customer in claims reporting as such as roadside, is a personal also. Many things comes which covers the insurance. It is if some health insurance, even a roadside accident or a personal insurance. So the insurance company can put a special QR code on the customer when they are issuing a policy or something. They are issuing a card also, and in that card they can print that QR code so they can submit the claims info into that particular QR code. That makes it easy for them and even for the company as well. This way, the customer can experience optimization of the experience while using that particular QR code with their insurance card. So that is really important. It's a unique, it's innovative, where they can just scan the QR code and get that claim info, and they can submit those claim info to the company instantly. That makes it easier for both the parties. Second point, which comes, enhance the security for the customer. What do you think about this enhance in a banking if you're working? So the security part is really, really important. So, with the steady increase in the number of digital payment, now everywhere it is a digital payment, nobody is having a hard cash with their hand, and they always want, okay, we are not having the cash, we can do it a digital payment. So, in these digital payment, many of the things of frauds also happen. So for this, QR code can provide that end-to-end encryption security feature for those financial institution and for the digital payment to carry out the secure transaction between the vendor as well as the consumer. So that is the reason, because everybody wants whatever the transaction is going. If you are purchasing something from a new place or a new thing, so it should be secured. It should not go with anything else. It should not, any damage should happen in that transaction. So the QR code comes into this picture, and for a single time password with the, if you are using for the ATM pins to withdraw money, or even you are taking about an account statement or anything to access their account or something, the QR code is the most important tool while handling in a financial institution, whether it is an additional payment, whether it is in a withdrawing of the money, whether it is you are accessing your account for any statements. So we need to enhance the security, but this can be done by a QR code while scanning the, and with a single password they can access all these things. My third point, which comes into the mind, is QR code in insurance for a periodic policy review. You all know, when in the insurance sector there is a policy review, and you need to check whether when it is maturing, and whether it is when we have to pay the payments for it, the policy. So the customer info changes as the need, means whenever you are doing this, when you are QR code, you have to keep all these things in a QR code. So customer information changes, such as a need for another insurance or a coverage or and many more. Even what the insurance agent can do when they are reviewing a policy and they have the QR code. So this insurance agent can send a customized QR code to the clients to remind them to update the information about themselves, about their policy, so that it makes it easier for both the agent to track the things, as well the customer has that opportunity to have the information about their policy, about their premiums, about everything should be embedded in that QR code. So that's the reason, if you are into an insurance business, this agent can provide this customer QR code for the clients to make it easier, to make that complexity process to the easier process for the clients. My second point comes into how to retrieve bank statement. So, how it comes into the picture. So, in a bank institution, typically used to verify when you go to a bank statement, when you are it is when you're trying to get a bank statement online, it used, why the bank statement, the first question which comes into the mind, why the bank statement is, we need a bank statement, why it is required for us to take it instantly, why it is required everywhere. As some people think of a document because it's an address proof, but if we go for a further thinking, why the bank statement is really important, is typically used for verifying the source of income, proof of address, proof of net worth, keep a track of the money, where the money is going here and there. So usually the onus is on the user who is using that online platform to get the physical statement. So attested issued by the bank. So sometimes when you are providing this statement to the bank for your income tax or something, so that can be done only when it was like you have to stand in a queue and get that physical statement. But nowadays it has been solved, it has been easier. Why? Because to the digital method the problem is solved by issuing that QR code exclusive to that particular customer to access his account details. So QR code can be added as an image and can be password protected, so that whenever the user is accessing his account statement or tracking the entire stuff of summary of his account, so this QR code makes a really important part into that. Now comes the marketing part. When we are talking about the QR code can be used in an email marketing campaigns as well, because everywhere sales are there in every sort of business. When you're talking about any business, it is the QR code is always there. So, how it is useful and how it is making it useful in financial institution is email marketing provides ample opportunities for both the companies where to reach new prospects while also the main maintain the current clients. When they are doing these campaign, they are also taking the new prospect as well as they are maintaining their current clients and keeping them satisfied. That is all industry require if you are approaching a new prospects also. But the customers which you have should be satisfied with your service, which all consumers want. So making your emails or direct mails stand out from the crowd is to mark the QR code, so that whenever you are sending an email, it should be stand in the crowd where the people should see your mails and should see, okay, what are the offers are you're giving, what are the service you're giving. They should be stand out in the crowd. That should be your email marketing purpose should be. So with QR code, you can use it to add another course of action that your prospect can do. So what the action can do, it connects the user with the desktop. Whenever you receive an email, so you have a desktop experience as well as increase the amount of email engagement. So this way, when you are giving an marketing mail or something, or even if you are giving an introductory message to your clients, to your new clients or the current clients, so it keeps on engagement in the email, so that you can do a sales pitch with the current as well as to the new prospect. Even when you're doing all these things, you can add the V card, means a virtual card, to your to your digital signature, so that your prospect can save your contact details on their smartphone. So this QR code serves as an event entry. You can do it whenever you have an event or something. You can serve this with the virtual card as well, so that the it have a continuous engagement with your consumers while you are in any. I'm not talking about only insurance sector. I'm talking about the banking sector. When they are also having the event, they can also do this email marketing. They can also provide this virtual card, and they can keep this continuous customer engagement with the sale with this part, and they can increase more and more sales, because when you are inviting your prospect, new as well as your current, so you have that opportunity to increase more and more sales into it. So my next point which comes into the mind is the QR payment for the user convenience. You think the it is a payment is as convenient for the user or not? This is a point which came into mind. So in the insurance sector, making a premium payment process is a quick and convenient for our customers. Earlier, when we think it goes by, you have to visit the office and you pay the payment, because I was into that particular insurance sector and people used to come with their cash for their premium and they are depositing in the office. But It can be easier for the consumers, and how this problem can be solved by adding this QR code. By placing this QR code on the electronic system, the statements, you can give your customer an easy way to do a self-service and make the electronic payments. Why, if you can put instead of standing in a queue, and they have an electronic payment system, they can just scan it and they can do the premium payments over there. So your clients can go directly to the online payment flow. It can be done in an online website, or you can make an electronic system in the office so that they don't have to stand in a queue and they just can pay the payment on an online platform. So that is makes, we are making it for the user convenience, because everybody wants, even in a banks, I know where the people doesn't stand in the bank, it's a nationalized banks, and where they just put in a ATM machine, they put the cash, they submit the cash over there, so that it they don't, they just entered all the details on the system, and they submit the cash in the ATM machine, and that makes it easier because they don't stand in a queue. They are just making it easier for both the banker as well as for the consumer, because afterwards the consumer take the money and deposit in their account. So it is, we are making more and more things easier for the users, because everybody wants that it should be convenient, it should be simple, they don't have to go to the complicated processes of the bank and insurance sectors. So that is why many people are using like this way. In a nationalized bank, there is a provision where you can just deposit your cash in an ATM machine, and that can be deposited at the end of the day. So these things are happening nowadays because of this digital tool, and it is becoming more and more to get the things done in a time. So in this session, we learned about the insurance and financial sectors, and what are the key points we are taking if we are into this business. So the users, which I think the QR code on the insurance card. Second is enhancing the security for the customers usage. Then the QR code in the insurance for periodic policy review. You can retrieve the bank statement as well, and making the QR payment for the user convenience. Plus, QR code can be used in email marketing when the customer is using your the service while in insurance or financial sectors. You can embed a QR code over there so that you can get and feedback of the consumer, what the service they require, what the improvisation they required in your service, or the process is streamlined for them or not. So these advices can be get through that feedback form. When they have purchased your service, you can embed it with a QR code. So that's the reason why the QR code is really, really important for each and every sector. And so this is a case study for today, and I'm representing the company of Uxlivinglab, where we work globally, and we do executing a qualitative and quantitative research uh, through these consumer insights, and by taking day-to-day insight from them and trying to make an extensive reports for the clients. So if you want any information regarding our company, regarding the features, regarding the process, how our company works, what are the payment part, what is features, what are the pricing, you can just let me know. You can ping me on the section, and I will right away tell you. We can I will give you a link for an appointment as well, for a calendar, so that you can book an appointment whenever you have a time, and I can explain you each and everything about our company. So it is also based on a QR code, it works on it, and it we are always ready to help our customer with the solution. That's what we do. We are market research people, and we will always try to help you to improvise your product according to the market situation. Thank you guys for attending the session. I hope you like it.